Hi everyone, my name is Chao Sun, and I'm in the microphone group in engineering for exploration, and my section is A09. So here's our presentation. So the purpose of our whole program is to test the biodiversity of some small animals in order to deeply understand how anthropogenic activities affect wildlife populations. Because birds are too small to detect by camera, so we need to use audio model to collect the sounds of birds. So with all the training data, we can train some machine learning model to test biodiversity fluctuation. But before we train some machine learning model to test the biodiversity, we first need to get a bunch of accurate training data. And we need some volunteers to label the corresponding clip in the audio, such as whether which species, which bird species is in this audio clip, and whether there is a bird vocalization in this data. However, if we collect subsets of the audio randomly, you have the audio that does not have any bird vocalization of interest in the audio. So as a result, volunteers will end up labeling lots of empty audio that do not have any value. So this will seriously affect the quality of our training data. So our job is to use different methods to reduce the amount of empty data clip in order to increase volunteers' efficiency. So here are two graphs here. So in the left figure, there's no bird vocalization. In the right figure, there is bird vocalization. So we want the right figure more. We want the audio clip that have the bird vocalization that we are interested in. So we want the red figure more. And we have four methods to solve this problem. So the first method is just stratified random sampling. And the second method is skew microfauna sampling. Microfauna is a machine learning model, and this model could predict the probability of bird existence in the audio clips. So we could use a global score of the microfauna model to predict and to select the subsets. And the method three is dawn and dusk peak sampling, which use dawn and dusk bird trends. So we just select two time interval. One is dawn and one is dusk. And for each time interval, we choose 120 audio clip. And the method four is just the combination of method two and method three. So first, we use a stratified random sampling. So stratified sampling, we stratify random sample subsets by selecting one audio clip from every hour of the day from each audio mod device. So even though we have a bunch of devices, we only use 10 good audio mod. So in the left figure, we could see that the red area is a good audio mod we need to use. And so for each method, we only need to choose 240 audio clips. To test the efficiency of all the methods, we utilize this method as baseline. In the right figure, we have the distribution or the graph of global score of every subset in the pool data set. In the method two, we use a machine learning model called microfauna, which could provide us the probability of bird presence in the audio clip, and it's called global score. So we first select all the audio clips that have 0.5 global score or higher, and then for each hour in each audio mod, we select one audio clip. So we have 24 hours and 10 audio mod, so we could generate 240 audio data. So this graph describe the red area in this graph describe all the data set that have global score bigger than 0.5, which means there are more than 50% of chance that bird vocalization appear in this audio clip. And the third one is dawn and dusk bird vocalization trends to select another subset. We use this trend to select another subset. Since birds are more active in the dawn and dusk, which means we have a higher chance to record audio with the vocalization. We first select two time interval, and then random select 120 audio clips for each time interval. So from the graph, we could see that around 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., we have the global score, peak global score. So we choose this time interval as one of the time interval. And the second time interval is around 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And the last method is just a combination of method 2 and method 3. So we first choose subsets that have microphone prediction 50% or bigger, and then we choose 120 audio clips in each dawn and dusk time interval. And after that, we need to manually labeling the data we choose. So we need to label two things. The first is bird vocalization, and second is heavy activity. If we could hear that there is bird vocalization, there is bird sound in the audio clip, so we label bird vocalization as 1. Otherwise, we label them as 0. And if we hear that more than one bird species sound appear in this audio clip, we label the high activity as 1. Otherwise, we label that as 0. And we compare 4 subsets. We divide the bird present count and the heavy activity count with respect to the dataset size. So from this bar graph, we could see that the method for skew dawn dusk sampling could help us to select the most useful audio data, which means we could use the method 4 to shuffle all the empty audio clips we don't want to use. Because our project is to replicate the NEUROS paper that Jacob and his group members did before. So they want to find out whether this 4 method could be used in different data sets. So in the left is the pro data set, which is the data set we use. And in the right is Scripps Coastal Reserve dataset, which is a dataset that Jacob and his group members use. And by comparing this to this group of graphs, we could see that the results are very similar. So which means these 4 methods actually did improve the efficiency, and the results pretty similar. So this proves that these methods could largely reduce empty audio clips and help volunteers to save tons of time when they are labeling training data. So that is a contribution of our project to the whole group, to the whole program. Thank you. That's all.